So what'd you do?
Wolvie's in the back, and he must be watching.
Yeah, Wolverine's got some confidential, sensitive, high bandwidth going on in the office there.
He dropped the modem in the bathtub when he was
something like that. Yeah,
friggin' fried everything. Yeah, there you go. Or maybe it was so much we talked about you going in the dunk tank that we couldn't handle the bandwidth. People are like, where, when, how, what? Details, please, help. What?
I'll pay anything. Take my firstborn.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Well, it was the pancake brunch.
Pancake breakfast over at Tower on Saturday from 10 till 2. See you there. We'll see you there. Now,
if you feel better.
So we have a hoodie to give away. Is it an accomplishment? Is there a milestone that has been reached? What is
bunny hug? It's a bunny hug.
Right.
If you're from the rectangular province, it's absolutely a bunny hug. That's don't debate that. And I think Jack, we hit what 5,000?
Yeah, 5,000 subscribers
on YouTube.
Yeah, we also hit 1 million views.
Ooh,
well,
on YouTube. That's one. So to celebrate,
are you upset with that number, Dean?
I just throw it out there. Oh, it's like a big fucking deal.
Billion. There's the Barn Burner hoodie.
Yeah,
we're not necessarily heading into hoodie season, although it's late at night.
I'll tell you what, you go to Saskatchewan, you're going to need the bunny hug because the bugs and
cools off in the evening from the mountains.
The horse flies, they'll chew you up.
Now, the winner happens to be someone that we're quite familiar with in the chat. If you've ever looked at the comments during the show on YouTube, the first man in is Walshy every day saying, "Morning, buddies." In fact, as we restarted the show, he said, "Good morning, buddies." So,
that's right.
Walshy, you've won the hoodie. Congrats. Our boy Jack will track you down.
Yeah.
And we'll get that hoodie into your paws.
See you Saturday, Walshy.
Yeah, at the dunk tank. Go easy on me.
That's right. Get your life savings out. Take it all out for Saturday. Congratulations. Yeah, thanks for... so what are we at? Because that number is... aren't we? We're close to... we're well over 5 now, right?
I think it was a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, Jack, that we hit that number, and that's when we ran the contest.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys, eh? Subscribe and like. That's how this thing goes.
Helps a lot.
Go on Grandma and Grandpa's phone and do it too.
Just throw a thing on there.
My old man, we were driving up to the lake in Sask last week.
Yeah.
Holy clueless. My God. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Just, how do you do that?
Yeah. It's hard until it's been done once, and then it's easy. You just have to do it once, people.
Little button, you touch it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Is he a loyal listener?
It'll work now.
In and out now and then? What do you know? Because when he was at the office,
he'll be a loyalist now because he can get it because it was very confusing, this new technology.
And I've noticed the people of that age demographic, they don't really want to announce that they don't know how to do it. No, they're a little bit worried about being viewed as a Luddite, someone that doesn't know how to use technology. So they probably just sit silently.
I'll go without. It's fine.
Yeah. Just don't tell them. Don't tell them. Help your older friends. Help the older guys out there, would you?
Respect as well.
Yeah.
Respect them. But...
Help out your local blue hair.
That's right.
With the download of the podcast.
Yeah, find your octogenarian in your neighborhood. Get it on.
Better to do. I can tell
nothing
you that.
to do. And this is prime. You know what this is? This prime podcast listening time. You're on the road. You're at the lake. You're doing whatever. Get that shit in your ears, man. Get it in your ear holes. Because where would you be without this entertainment?
Oh, today especially. I mean,
now. I'm thinking about the dunk tank. How many of the throws? So if you get 3 throws, how many are you going to waste at just throwing them at Pinder?
Probably behind glass because they got to hold you in the tank. It depends on the model here, but
there'll be some sort of
in the tank.
Yeah, some sort of protective shielding, some chicken wire or.
I'm envisioning like a cron-sized. Fish tank.
Don't break cron. Okay.
And so it's filled with water. You can look into it so you can see the person falling. So I'll be behind glass, and then there'll be a target.
What did Rhett just say?
Don't bring Croner in. And he's always afraid.
Don't worry about Cron size. I thought he was going to take a shot at Croner.
No, Cron has huge fish tanks. So nothing to do with anything else. He's got a lot of fish. He's an avid fish collector.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You got plans for Saturday all of a sudden. We'll see you at Tower Chrysler. We'll be there. doing the dunk tank. And congrats to Walshy on the old hoodie.
Walshy fire.
Attaboy, Walshy. Ron Duguay was never a Flame, was he? Jesperi Kotkaniemi, never a Flame. They're having birthdays today, because then if that was the case, I'd say, hey, this this day in Flames history, that sort of thing. But Ron Duguay had some of the best hair in NHL history. That guy, if you remember the flowing locks, because a lot of guys didn't wear the lid, but few of them had the mane of Ron Duguay. New York, that guy. What's that body count for a guy like Ron Duguay in Manhattan?
Pinder, you don't remember it?
I just want to see the hair. Oh, yeah. Look at that flow. Wow.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing this up?
Shawn Michaels-esque.
Well, I went for this day in Flames history for McLeod Law if I was going to do anything today. So I kind of, there's nothing really, there's birthdays, no Flames. Ron Duguay having a birthday today.
Look at that flow.
Right? I just remember that guy had some sweet, sweet locks and would have taken down
some rockets here.
Oh,
Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, he was very
dude.
Farrah Fawcett.
This guy,
Prime Fawcett.
Wasn't he in LA and New York?
Yeah,
Apex Fawcett.
Apex Duguay.
Oh yeah.
He'd, put him up against anybody. Movie stars, musicians. That guy would have.
Friendly guy.
Probably not the best thing for McLeod Law.
I was going to say, where are we going here?
There's nothing really to speak of Flames history. I shouldn't say that. Maybe there is, but
why the hell don't you call Peter Marra? He would know this. Save yourself the Googling.
Pete was on the show yesterday with Rob Kerr. So
yes, he was.
I can't believe you guys hate Peter Marra so much. You haven't invited him on.
Yeah, we hate Peter Marra.
Well, what's the problem here?
Pete's like
Peter Marra.
Pete's an idol, and
Jeff's
Pete
father.
was a guy that has been extremely helpful in my career. In the early days, I love Pete, but he's on Rob's show a lot, and he's really tight with Rob, and they've got a great rapport.
Okay, so what did you do to make Peter Marra hate you? Maybe that's the question.
I mean, that's kind of just how gravity works. People tend to...
Shit goes downhill.
Mm-hmm. I saw Jeff a couple weeks ago. Jeff
Mahar?
Yeah.
Is he still repping the gear?
It was the take your soon-to-be junior high kid to junior high to see the school and learn things about it. And he was there.
Okay.
What's wrong? Your headphones are too loud?
Oh, God, your headphones are loud. No wonder you...
Those aren't my headphones. I've never used those headphones in my life.
Well, somebody...
He's in your chair, so he thinks it's your head.
I love your chair, too, by the way. I could put my feet up over here.
So great.
He does have a shin up on the table there.
Peter Klein at McLeod Law, he's the personal injury guy, but he's also the go-to guy in Calgary for your disability insurance claim. If your long-term disability insurance company is refusing to pay insurance benefits to you, contact Peter. He'll get you the disability benefits that you paid for and you deserve. He'll get you that peace of mind back. You want this guy and McLeod Law on your team. Contact them today. McLeod-law.com. There's the phone number, 403-254-3864. Social media, at McLeod Law LLP. One of the best. One of the good guys out there.
Contact him. Maybe there's something with my shoulder I should be compensated.
Somebody screwed you. They're not paying you what you deserve. Go get them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Feel like you probably they got a union for that.
Count as personal injuries anyway.
I feel like you've done okay. I feel like you're winning in the whole scheme of things.
Oh, I've been screwed over so many times, Dean.
Yeah. He was talking about some less than successful investments the other day. He's got some wins and some losses. It's just like any GMs out there, you win some, you lose some. Yeah.
You know what I don't need to hear anymore? And I saw another one this morning. I don't need Alain Vigneault this morning, or to somebody I read this morning. Alain Vigneault, he's 62 years old. He says, you know what? I think I might be done with coaching. I might be done. I had said when I took my last job in Philadelphia that this was probably going to be the last one. He was fired in 2021. He is getting paid until 2024.
Ooh, like that.
No shit. Oh, you think you don't need to? You're happy doing sweet fuck all as opposed to doing something. Yeah, when you're getting paid millions to sit in your can.
Would be millions too for a land.
Millions.
I think he's probably 4 to 6 in there. On
I was
most
going to
of his top
say,
deals.
I was going to
Just top
ballpark
market.
4 to 5 million. You've been making it since 2020 or whenever he was brought on. And yeah, you
deal before with the Rangers, he was making tons of money too. He got paid. That might be your all-time career earnings leader in coaching. Maybe Babs in the mix as well.
Babs would be up there.
well, and that's the other donkey I was going to bring up. Saw him. You know, it's the last few years have just been a blessing. You know, I was. With hockey season, it's just hockey, but I've been able to. There's been downhill ski season and water ski season.
Europe.
It's been, you know, it's
Private jet
about
season.
You know what it is? It's about for people out there, you know, about finding your happy place, find that happy spot, and enjoy it.
Pretty easy to find that happy spot, eh?
Yeah, if somebody wants to tell me, just go and do nothing, and we'll give you $6 million a year to do it. I'm going to be the happiest fuck you've ever seen.
He put in time in Lethbridge and wherever the hell else he was. So come on.
I don't know why people are so upset. I hear about depression and people having a hard time. You just got to find your happy place, man.
Well, Mike could take a bit of haircut to get back in the league. He's only making 4 this year, do you know? And, you know, it's expensive just traveling the globe, being in your happy spot, not working for a while.
Housing prices, Dean, nowadays?
Yeah. I can't afford fucking lettuce, and I got Babs telling me to find my happy place. Go fuck yourself, Babs.
Babs is like, you know, this whole thing with Russia is making caviar
check,
very expensive.
Isn't the government giving you a grocery check coming up?
No, I don't. I don't think I qualify.
Yeah. Call Babs. He'll send you some lettuce.
Yeah.
Babs can blow me. So yeah, no more of that. If you're making millions doing nothing, like Big D, if you're out there right now, God love you. Don't tell me to go find my happy place.
Can you
just
see Daryl
don't do it.
Wheeling into the A&W for his morning coffee to talk to his buddies? Like, oh boy, you know, I could really get used to this. You think so, Daryl? Making 4 a year to ranch?
You seen the price of pesticide these days? God.
Where's the rain? Need some damn rain out here.
Too much rain. We got too much rain.
It's very dry.
So Alain Vigneault, if you're
Oh,
it's over.
Is it gone again? I can hear
Is
you.
this at our end again, Jacko?
I hear you. I'm good. I'm still okay. What? Are you gone?
We're back.
We're back.
All right.
We're in and out.
Tell Wolfie to tell him to get out of the tub. So what happens? You just lose the audio, or what happens on that end?
Let's have Jackie step in. What do we know, Jack?
The whole internet in the building's going down.
Oh, good.
It's got to do something with the effing bike lanes again.
No. Don't know how that ties to the bike lanes. If you want to blame the telecoms and the oligopoly,
they're doing the construction for the effing bike lanes, and it's shutting down our internet.
They're doing the street lights right now. Bike lanes is next year, I think. Probably the bike lanes.
Yeah.
Do you know down in the States they don't have the as many street lights? Have you noticed that?
I have not. No.
Go down to Scottsdale this winter. That's what I want you to do.
Okay, I'll do a little research.
Yes.
Book me a flight.
And drive around.
What do they do? Roundabouts?
Well, they don't have street lights.
So what do you do?
I don't know. You put your lights on.
Okay.
Well, there's some of those communities. I forget what they call them, but that's their thing. Is there's no there's a name for them. You know, you can see the night sky. It's that they celebrate the darkness, so you can see the.
You're talking about lights that like keep the streets, the whole area
lamps.
bright, or not? I was thinking like the green, yellow, red.
No.
Okay, that makes
street
sense.
lamps.
That's traffic lights, Ryan. Jesus,
yes,
you know what?
And that's
Get in
what
the
I thought
dunk
he was
tank.
talking about. That is what they're building at the corner, which he's talking about the internet. They're literally putting in street lights.
Go get the dunk tank.
Try to keep up, Brian. Cheapers. Usually you're better at this. That's what I have to talk to the shoveler about.
Street lights.
Follow the conversation. Come on.
Stay with us here, shoveler. Stay with us.
It's not a.
So are we good? Are we we're live, right?
We could be talking to each other.
Yeah, Jack, what the hell's going on today?
Because you guys, you look like you're on a delay to me. I don't know. We'll keep going.
No, we're just stopping and putting. That's something we could do.
Yeah, just fuck with them.
Yeah.
Delay? What delay?
Come on, you got anything on your list to talk about there? There's got to be some hard-hitting sports talk we can.
What do you got?
Into. Well, I effed up the Michael Stone thing. That got released, I guess. So
no, you were.
Yeah.
You didn't F anything up.
Our guys knew. Everyone else is very excited. Oh, breaking news. That was a barn burner.
You know, and this Twitter thing where you only get so many. I don't need 800 Michael Stone updates. Like
You're wasting my
my
views.
Come on. Enough.
Wasting
I
my
saw it the
tweets.
first time.
Everyone's jumping ship now. Zuckerberg and Elon.
No.
Battle. Everyone's posting their Threads handles.
Go ahead. Either or. I don't.
Did you go on Threads?
I'm not a fan of those guys. What's that?
Did you go?
I just want them to fight.
It's tied to your Instagram. So if you simply
Okay,
go and activate
I'm going to start an Instagram, actually.
Good for you.
There we go. This is what
here we are.
I'm going
Idea
to start
guy.
an Instagram. Because
Did he just quit on us?
Are we out? Or did he just decide he's fucking
He doesn't
had it?
like your idea or the connection's not good.
Guess
Tell
that's
us
not-
about your
I'm
Instagram.
not going to do Instagram. I'm
No,
sorry, Dean. I
hey!
won't do it.
He can stay away. I want to hear about
I
your
feel like the Instagram's a better spot. I'm going to go get some meat from Greg at Bonton, and I'm going to do it on Instagram. But I need a handle.
Are you hearing this? Do you know? He's going on Instagram to cook meat. Our boy
That's
here.
what I hear.
Idea.
And my egg broke. Did I tell you that?
Oh, he's very upset.
The interior one cracked.
For the lay people.
Well, the egg's that ceramic smoker, the big cauldron.
The big green egg.
And the big green egg. And then inside it, there's a secondary.
Little chamber?
Yeah. And it cracked. So I don't know how that F's things up, but I got to get a new one. Anyone have a... I don't know what are they
Now,
called?
do you need the name brand Big Green Egg? Because there are some others, like there's the Komodo and there's some other ones.
I got to think that the big green egg's got to go with the big green egg. I need.
Well, yeah, the outside's still fine. You're going to replace one part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And start an Instagram account and show people what I'm eating.
It's a great idea, buddy.
They'll be
That's a great
they'll be
idea.
very interested, I'm sure.
Positive, dude. That's the shit that our guys like. They've liked it for years. They'll continue. That's what they want to know. And it's not because you're not a boring eater. Like you have a sophisticated palate, and you have
He's a good chef, isn't he?
My brother
high-class
texted me yesterday. He said, "What are your top 5 recipes?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I'm sick of making the same thing."
Yeah.
You getting that rut too?
Well, are you guys
really
both the head chefs in your homes? I believe. I know Boom is
yeah.
for sure, and Rhett, you
I
are.
wouldn't trust the chef. You know what? Have you ever watched those documentaries on the slow kill, where the
Slow
wife's
kill.
poisoning your food? That's
What
I
are you
can't-
watching?
I can't
Is
trust.
that what it is?
Poisoning people's
Yeah.
food?
Just a slow. She will just put a little bit in my meal every
It's a
night.
little arsenic every day.
Yeah.
Little rat poison.
cyanide?
2 years later, that twitch
Yeah.
turns into.
Honey, have you checked into our insurance policy recently?
I think we should get more life insurance. It's a crazy world out there. You just never know. I'd hate for the boys to be left empty-handed. But when it comes, because when it comes right down to it, what do you've got ground beef, chicken, pork, right? It's so yeah. You're kind of your protein is kind of limited. So then where do you go from there? You can get boxed in, and some days you don't feel like getting overly creative. So it's like, well, I guess spaghetti and meat sauce tonight. I'll have some spaghetti, or it's tacos. I'll have some tacos again. It's a lot. I get it.
Taco
for sure.
Tuesday.
Yeah, especially
That's good. You
for
guys are good, though.
those poor people that have to work a job where you get up and you leave the house for hours at a time, and then you come home in mid to late afternoon, and then you have to start cooking. That would be challenging.
So you're saying Babs is a real good cook now? He's had a bunch of time to work on this. Like Babs,
He should-
has a great
yeah.
kitchen
chef. And if you play
him and
in the NHL,
Gordon
you don't ever
Ramsay.
have to cook. You can just take the food for the. Be like Roman Hammerlock.
I just think people
Bring it
I
to
don't
go.
know why people don't eat more healthy. I mean, we eat very healthy. Our chef cooks cooks us healthy meals every single day. You know what? Find your happy place.
This ox is sourced out of Central Africa. It's actually some of the leanest meat you can buy. Okay.
It's good because you know who else gives you advice in life? It's all the celebrities, right? Like if you want to learn how to live, you just follow some of those.
TB12, baby.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. It's solid advice. Easy.
So when did you become a cook rather than just eat all the free food that was around you in the NHL? There was a transition there at some point.
It was because in Buffalo, we had no owner. And literally, I've said it before, you didn't get fed after games.
Which is nuts.
In between games.
Yeah.
So you play at home, get on the airplane, and have to fly somewhere and play the next night. No food.
Jesus.
So that's when I started cooking.
Because you're like, I'm gonna need something to eat. So you're literally bringing Tupperware to the rink.
Sub and some salt and vinegars. Go get them.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm not that professional, but there's got to be better than this.
God. So they were in bankruptcy for a while. They're trying to find new owners. It was like they had Dom and a really makeshift cheap roster around them.
Yeah, Dom had left.
Okay.
I think.
Probably a part of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was going to get paid. He wasn't going to get paid.
Well, and what happened, I don't know if I'm, in my interpretation of events, where Mr. Regas owned Adelphia Communications or something like that, and the kids were running it. He started up from a hot dog stand into $1 billion company, blah, blah, blah. And the kids were running things, and they may have
friggin' ruined it.
Not quite the business savvy as the old man.
Happens a lot.
He took the fall, and then I think he took the fall and went to jail. So his kids
bank fraud, wire fraud, securities fraud.
Yeah. There's a long list.
Yeah, a lot of rod there.
It's unfortunate.
A real Boots Del Baggio type situation, eh?
Yeah.
Luckily, confused too.
Yeah. Luckily, you don't need to worry about our kids running our fledgling business into the ground.
Not at this point, no. Did you get the update from Rhett, from his acquaintance in Buffalo, who suddenly was quite popular with the authorities?
Yeah, I said that on the show on Tuesday. The coach, the young lad's coach, had his business basically confiscated. Is that would that be the word? Shut down. We'll take your laptops and your computers, and all of you get the out of here. And
yellow tape, a lot of unmarked vehicles with sirens.
Police line, do not cross.
But then what am I going to use for a laptop? I need a recipe for dinner. Where am I going to Google things if you take my laptop?
Could you fellas give me 10 minutes? I need to wipe the server here. Just hang on. I'll get the door in a moment.
Can I? Hi, it's the FBI. We're coming in. Can I say no?
It's not a great time, actually. My mother-in-law's here.
We have a meeting planned.
Can you give me 2 hours to just clean some stuff up?
Yeah. No, probably shouldn't. I want to tell you about Vena Nova. Now, I don't know if I told you this, but it's that time of year. Going back to our Christmas, all of it's kind of coming home to roost here, because tonight we're going to, and we'll tell you what we're doing tonight. And it was part of our Top Shelf Elf Christmas campaign. But also, Vena Nova, Justin, owner of Vena Nova, he was the winning bidder on one of the prize packages, which was from Bon Ton Meats for the pig roast. The whole pig and the roaster and that whole thing. And Justin, I don't know how you describe him. He's not an imposing
He's a very
figure.
normal human. He's not a Lugan. He's a normal dude.
Yeah. He's a normal, classy person. He runs businesses and would not be a guy who you would think would be bidding for a pig roast. But he's very excited. I got to get him and Greg coordinated. He's going to have his big luau coming up here sometime over the summer.
Oh yeah.
And he was texting me. He's like, "Hey, don't judge a book by its cover. This boy can put away the pork." Something to that effect is what it was. So that's what you're dealing with when you go to Vena Nova. You're dealing with normal, good, down home people.
connection.
Well, it's because we're talking about Vena Nova, and tonight we're going. Vena Nova Calgary. It's the lone diamond specialist. They only do lab grown. You walk through the front doors, and it's lab grown. And why shouldn't it be? There's going to be more of them too. Just remember where it started.
Smarter way, Dean.
Largest selection of loose lab-grown diamonds in Calgary. Your savings on lab-grown can be as high as 80% off what you'll pay for the dirty mined diamonds. Got all kinds of people digging for those things. How about something pristine? How about something out of the structure and everything is so precise. It's science, people. Not something you dug out of the dirt. In some cases, the quality is even better. Why wouldn't you? VenaNova.com, sustainable, dazzling, one of a kind. There you see it. The location is downtown, second level of Stephen Avenue Place. And, not that the woman that I live with or the person that I live with would ever listen to this, but it is anniversary season.
I was going to say,
it is anniversary season.
Up soon?
I'm a September.
Yeah.
Do you know your summer, I'm imagining?
Yeah, soon.
Now, did you have some sort of mess hall in a small town and putting bologna slabs on each other's shoulders?
Yes, 100%.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I only went to one of those. It was a good piss up.
You have the social, a couple months or a number of weeks to try and raise some money to put the thing on, and then you invite the entire town, and the entire town comes and drinks. And they just keep drinking. First, you run out of whiskey. First, you run out of vodka, and then whiskey, and then rum, and then if you had a couple bottles of gin, people are like, all right. Yes. So until they drink you out of beer and booze, and there's lots of mix left because no one. Can I get vodka and 7?
3 fingers,
easy on the mix.
Yes, right.
Easy.
So then you take all the 2 liters back to the co-op to see if they'll take it back, and of course they do because it's a small town, so you get your money back there. But yeah, that was the story a long, long, long time ago. But the thing about the anniversary thing is, we've said this before. I'm happy because I can just turn my brain's twitching, right? You can just turn your brain off. Okay, I know what I'm doing for the gift, and so I don't need to stress about that anymore. And it's going to be a huge hit. So that's also awesome.
It's a win.
Connect the dots. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Vena Nova. VenaNova.com. You want to do Pinder report?
Sure. Let's rock.
I have some thoughts on the Flames. We can do that later.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
You'll do that now?
Got some clarity. Not really. I have whatever.
Okay.
Clarity?
Yeah. As I was lying in bed yesterday, dabbing my forehead.
Moaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that sort of thing. Some clarity. Yeah. I will do the Pinder report. Pinder report brought to you by Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, online villagehonda.com. The Buy Your Ride event, it continues. If you don't buy theirs, they still want to buy yours. Top trade-in appraisals, payment in 24 hours, stress-free, and for a limited time, get a family ticket bundle for the Cavalry FC. Get your complimentary appraisal done today. Village Honda, your dealership for life. Village presents the Pinder report.
For life. Let us start with the Calgary Flames to do some news. Huge signings. Ben Jones, Emilio Pettersson.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to play in the Saddle Dome, Dean. It's just, it's the W on the chest, not the C. The final unsigned bit of work Craig Conroy has to do. Now just, who wants to stay, who wants to go, 6 pending UFAs next year. That's kind of the next issue. And they need a head coach for the American Hockey League franchise that just signed those 2 players who will likely spend their seasons there as well. I know
Ryan Pike will have the details. I mean, if there's a guy that you want, FlamesNation.ca, Ryan Pike will be all over it. If you want
Pike bomb. It's a Pike bomb when something like that.
It is a Pike bomb. This is, you know what? This is Pike territory, right? The off season when it's about cap hits and cap space and contracts and all that sort of thing.
Dude,
this is.
We were at the draft, and in the perfect example of the Pike bomb. because Ryan is like fluent in CBA, which is one of the hardest languages to speak on planet Earth. And he's like, "Oh, did you see Hansek's birthday? He's eligible for a double ELC slide."
Yeah, he comes up. Oh, you know what? Hansek's he's a double slide.
He could be a double slide if they sign him in the next so many months. And I'm like,
yeah, he's got that birthday. Right. He's a double slide.
Yeah, he's eligible for the double slide. Yeah, he's a double slider potentially. Yeah.
Is that like a two-banger?
Pike bomb.
Because I know what a two-banger is. I don't know the double slide. Although the slide generally happens shortly after the two-banger. But hopefully FlamesNation.ca, Pike's all over it.
The news that Rhett ruined on Tuesday was made official yesterday by the club as well. The man who was traded for multiple picks, re-signed, bought out, re-signed, PTO'd, re-signed, PTO'd, re-signed, re-signed, and now player development. Michael Stone, his career over. I feel like when Michael Stone wasn't making a ton of money and was stepping in spots that weren't easy after not playing for a long time and missing a huge amount of time recovering from a blood clot, we came to love Michael Stone as a dependable depth guy. It was not an easy job he was asked to do, and he says goodbye to that job today and starts a new one in player development with the Flames.
Rhett, I know you've talked with some guys in the past about for Michael Stone to be able to not play for weeks and weeks and then, oh, hey, you're in tonight, and then come in and perform to the level that he did. You can take one, it's like Michael Stone is, well, he's a 6'7". And then there's the other side. Michael Stone's a friggin' pro because he kept himself in shape. You mentioned the blood clots. He kept coming back. There's no guaranteed contract. He had to fight for his lunch coming in on a PTO every year. And then remember this year, he was getting numbers back there on the blue line that a lot of guys would have loved to have had. He was a consummate pro to keep himself in game shape and to be ready for whenever they needed him.
It's the shits having to do that.
Not easy. You got to have the right attitude. Never mind anything else. You could be the most talented guy. The world's against me. If you don't have the attitude, that it's just not going to work.
No.
And before that, he was a hell of a hitman. He was a great hitman, blue liner.
Yeah. Third round, 69th overall, back in 2008, and Trilliving snapped him up soon after arriving from Phoenix, where they were both a part of the organization. Fifth and a third, one of them conditional on re-signing.
Good for you, Stoner.
And one of the only guys we saw bought out and re-signed within 2 months
that was interesting.
Of the same offseason. It was Yusuf Alamaki that got injured in his offseason training, mangled his knee. He was going to be done for the year. And all of a sudden, a guy that they had to buy out was like, well, Gary, we need some clarification here. Can we sign this guy? We're not trying to screw anyone. We really didn't want him. But now Alamaki's hurt and we really need him. It was wild. We'll move along there. Nothing there. Okay. No. One of the things that we do in July when there's nothing to talk about is talk about things that are evergreen and really aren't specific to time. And one of the ones on Hockey Twitter that got going the last few days was, what if we ever did actually have Canada against USA best on best? Like McDavid's never played with Crosby. You've never had Patty Kane on the same team as Austin Matthews. What the hell are you doing here, Gary? Well, some of the rosters that people have been working on have been floated. And I'm telling you, this would be absolutely epic. Look at Team USA, Dino. We talked about them with Rhett yesterday. Like, we've got great goaltending, pretty talented decor, and super skilled up front. Tage freaking Thompson is your third line center with Gaudreau and Kyle Connor. Are you kidding me? Unreal. Quick reaction to anything you see here, Dino.
Because I know how it's going to go. Yes, those people to the south of us have been producing some fine, high-caliber hockey players for a while.
Yeah, and it's not that Canada isn't, but this is a young, talented group, and let's turn page. The Canadian group, well, there's certainly some people that play goal in the NHL there, and I really like there's a lot of veteran, like, is Patrice Bergeron even playing this?
Is Mark Stone broken? Like, I thought he was
just won a cup. I think it's not that broken. Yeah, it's an older Canadian group. Like, Barzell seems young in this group, and he feels like he'd be old on the American team. You got Bedard in there.
Yeah, Stamkos is a goat.
Hubie Doobie Doo is on there. Good.
Yeah, just put him with McKinnon.
That's great for him. and for the Flames.
And we sort of lamented it yesterday that there's not a top 10 goalie from Canada on earth right now. Like, I'm sorry, there isn't. Aiden Hill could be in this conversation. Like, people are throwing Stuart Skinner's name in there. He's got 1 season in the league. Like, this is not good. Price is not playing again. Marc-Andre Fleury's 1,000. What are we doing in net, Dean?
Is that truly so? That's because again, you guys would have.
This was fan voted from our boy Jay Fresh, so that's like 1,000+ people on Twitter and hockey Twitter. So these are not, people off the street. These are hardcore hockey fans voting on this stuff, and it's not the be all end all, but it just shows you where there's depth and where there isn't. And goaltending is a fucking nightmare.
I'm just talking in terms of goaltending. Temper. That's truly it, right? Is there some youngster out there that?
Yes, there's but we don't Devin Levi's played how many games in the NHL?
2.
Like, what are we talking? He's on the list. He wouldn't even be uttered in the same breath as some of those American goalies. Thatcher Dem couldn't even make the other team. This is
so what
problems.
happened?
What happened to Quebec?
Relax, Pinder. It's just the goalie. We'll be fine.
Okay, that's true.
Own the puck.
What is Quebec doing?
You bastards.
What's Quebec been doing for the last 20 years? Because all they did was pump out goalies.
Yeah, I have a bad joke about Quebec hating pipelines, so they stopped making goalies because that used to be the right. Funny, but it's not happening anymore. And you were saying it yesterday. If you grew up watching Marty Brewer and Pat Waugh, of course you want to be a goalie. But I don't know that something happened.
Bobby Lou, hey,
yeah, Bobby Lou for sure.
Lou went to Florida and they forgot all about him.
I don't know that
Bobby Lou was looking good. He was looking good on the draft floor there in Nashville. Rhett had the hair all back. Oh yeah, he's loving it.
He was looking good in the suite next to Bill Zito after every goal they scored in overtime in the playoffs to move on to another round. Bobby Lou was a nice little run there. Yeah, high five in the owner.
You love hugs, right?
Here's an interesting one. 5th overall pick, last first-round draft selection from Ken Holland in Detroit was Philip Zadina. Sounds like he and the Red Wings getting a divorce. They've agreed to not agree.
Move on.
And he's going to forego nearly $4.5 million to just say, see ya, the 23-year-old free agent. If this goes through.
As opposed to doing what?
Making that money and staying in Detroit.
So he'd have to go to the minors?
Wherever they put him, he would have to go, and he would. They clearly both want a fresh start, but it's weird to see a 23-year-old top 5 pick do this. It's like you feel like that's not a finished product, or
that feels like a mistake to me.
For Philip, or for the Wings, or for both.
I can't speak to the Wings, but for Philip, that's $4.5 million. The next 2 years, you may not like playing in Adirondack or wherever the hell their farm team is, but that's $4.5 million, son.
And if you perform, probably you're not going to spend that much time in Adirondack, are you?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids. Love the Rapids.
Thank you.
Griffins, go Griffins.
That's bad advice.
Am I wrong on this? I thought he was... Yeah, okay, only 30 games last year. So he's been up and down. That's the issue here. He played 74 games 2 years ago. 14 minutes ice, 13 minutes ice. Yeah, it hasn't gone as he's supposed to go for a top 5 guy. No one wants
like high picks. Can't miss on high picks. Careful.
Feels like there has to be more to this story, gentlemen. Feels like it to me.
Yeah, well,
we'll dig into it, folks.
Yeah, that's right. There's more to the Verana story. They gave him up for free too. Jesus.
I was gonna say you got Philip Verana, Jacob Verana, Philip Zadina. What's going on with Stevie Y? What's going on, Steve? What kind of a show are you running there?
Maybe a little of the shines come off, but it's off season. Again, there's no wins and losses this time of year. We'll see what he puts on the ice in
Maybe
October.
It's tougher to convince people to go to Detroit than
Rhett,
Tampa Bay. What
would you say to Philip Zadina at 23 if he's unhappy? Now, we don't know what else is going on, but if it's mostly a hockey thing where he feels like he's not getting a chance or he's getting passed over, whatever, coach doesn't like him, what would you, if you're the player agent, say to the kid?
I would know what his marketability is outside of this, because you're not going to get paid $0 next year.
Fair.
Right?
He has to feel that there's a much better spot for him where he will make way more money as a result of going.
I don't know why he wasn't picked on waivers or whatever, but regardless, maybe he can go make $3 million over 2 years, right? And have a better opportunity.
Another thing we've seen a bunch of this offseason, Dino, is bonuses. And I don't know that because there's certain age restrictions on what you can and can't do with bonuses, but I know, for example,
Pike.
Connor Brown. Yeah, where's Pike? Connor Brown's going to play for $775,000 for the Oilers. When he gets to 10 games, he'll get a bonus that moves him to $4 million. So the Oilers will take the cap penalty next year when the cap jumps. I don't know if Zadina is eligible for the.
We need Pike from the balcony.
Yeah,
this is the.
Actually, he's a Group 6 free agent, so he's ineligible for bonus structure. Pike bomb.
Twitch. That's what I would say, Dean. You asked. That's my answer.
It's a good point. He's not gonna. He's probably not gonna make nothing. But it's 4.5, and the thing is with waivers, you're going to have the team that picks him up. You have to have space, and you got to pay him that. You'd be conducted to that contract.
A Russian lad?
Zadina, I believe, is Czech.
Czech? Oh, I was going to say because you could always go to Russia and make 4.
I don't know if you can anymore. Maybe. Yeah, he's from Pardubice, Czech Republic.
Anyway,
could be
Pardubice.
So let's say he plays for $1.5 million this year on a 1-year deal. That would be the type of thing an agent say we might lose some this year, but go tuck 20 and we'll get you more next year when the cap goes way up and you can talk to 32 teams.
Well, good luck, Philip.
How about Philip? Maybe he's not.
Look, you've taken a risk on yourself, Dean. He's willing to do
bet on yourself. Like
bet on yourself, buddy. Look where it's got me.
In your basement? Where is that? Yeah.
It's really paying off.
Surge in action last night.
Best thing I've ever done.
Hey, listen, you love being miserable, and
hey, why don't we do
it right in your pocket?
There's a need for you. It's
this
a happy
place. Exactly
hey,
where you want to be.
Listen,
we're
really going to do this thing. Let's do this thing. We're going to get out there. We're really going to give it our all. See, I'm going to Buffalo. What? Where are you going?
Oh, it's my.
What?
The Calgary Surge in
That's
action.
not betting on yourself if you blame someone else.
Did I get Jack there? Was Jack laughing in the background? Listen, if I get a laugh out of Jack, I want credit for it, goddammit.
No, you heard it. You get all the credit you want.
Attaboy, Jack.
Surge in Edmonton last night.
Surge? Oh.
Surge?
Yeah, the other.
No, he's a towel.
He's got at the Surge.
He's got the pancake breakfast to get ready for. He's not going.
Stupid Stingers that got us last night.
The Stingers? What kind of name is the Stingers?
Yeah. Kind of got the honeybee colors there, don't they? Stingers beat the Surge. They're on the road for a bit. Get her going, boys. That drops them down to 500. Come on.
500? I thought they were deadly out of the...
They were deadly. Jack, they've now lost 4 or 5. It's a rough little stretch. They're not shooting well enough, Jack. You ruined them. That game you came to, you were yelling at them, and you got in their feels. Come on now. Let's get to the dumb shit. That's what we really are known for here in July on the Pinder Report.
This has all been brilliant.
Let's get away from this serious stuff. It's too serious right now.
That's right. CBA double sliders. Let's go. Hey, you love leaving your house, Dean, and you love swimming in the ocean because you're not afraid of animals, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Here's some nightmare fuel for you.
Oh, I think I saw this. Again, we talked about this last week or the week before.
You're not ever setting a toe in an ocean again, are you?
No.
I don't care if you're in Alaska. So this is in Florida, and it's like, oh yeah, people on the beach, but everyone's sort of pointing and looking and yelling at each other. Now, what are they all yapping about? Oh my God, look at the fin! That is a monster! That looks like a 10-foot great white.
Get out of the water!
I don't. It's scarier when you say the apex predator. That is, look at that thing.
Just a little bit of shit.
It looks like you could drop a 9.8 Mercury engine on the back of that thing. That is huge.
He probably told all his shark buddies, watch this, I'm going to go fucking freak these people out.
That right there view is... Oof.
That's a big fin, Rhett.
He's well inside some of those. He's between the beach and the people.
There are some people in a bad
He's
spot
inside.
there.
Yeah, he's inside the buoys.
Yeah, that's in the swim zone. Boats
and like,
aren't allowed to get that close.
And you can get some perspective there on the size of that fin by the people who are standing even behind it.
Ooh. The fin's like 2 feet. Ugh.
You won't see that in the Bow River.
God bless.
That's as far as I'm going.
Did I send you that? By the way, we'll have it next week if we haven't, because we don't have it today, I don't think. Did we see the video of that old guy trying to wrestle an alligator or croc? Did I send that to you? That was epic.
No, you didn't.
Okay, we'll got to find that and purpose that for next week.
Jack.
People, sharp teeth. No.
It's my fault.
It's not Jack's fault at all. And it's 2 days out now, Dean. We've It takes time for some of these things to accumulate. We've now got a lot of dumb American firework videos.
See, I knew it.
So
yes,
appropriately,
always coming through.
Turn your volume down. Get ready. There's going to be some loud noises. Someone's yelling at me because I've had a fireworks video on the Pinder report yesterday. I'm sorry. It was July 4th. Fireworks are loud. You knew we were talking fireworks. Random order of fireworks events. Let's just take a look and see what's happening in America. Just praying to the firecracker gods. Freedom, Dean. Can't teach freedom. You gotta live it.
Fancy opioids and get some fireworks.
Let's go.
Someone's got to clean that up. Like they're making a hell of a mess there.
Yeah, there's a lot of messes, and that's a small one. Let's go to another video. I feel like this is going to go well because it's aimed it straight up. No problem here. Got a front lawn firework here.
Oh.
Oh! Jeez! Oh, no. In the house. It's still going. Everyone. Panic. We got smoke coming out of the garage.
Keep that shit out. Oh, fuck. That shit went straight through my fucking head.
That's almost back it up tear.
You know what? You needed to keep that one for the end because you can't beat that. If you're not watching on YouTube, you gotta go. Whoa!
Left in Albuquerque, right in the house.
That rocket's an asshole.
It was pointed straight up, and immediately, as soon as it launched, like, fuck that, I'm going in the house.
Wow.
And if we can't beat that, well, maybe the video isn't as good as the next one, but the damage is peak. Like, it would be an awful day to be an insurance claims adjuster or whatever.
I don't think.
No, in the U.S.
I don't think you adjust anything. I think you say
fireworks. Void. I'm not showing up. It's July 5th. I'm turning my phone off. Fuck all y'all playing with explosives.
Yeah. It's not in your package.
You're not covered. Stop calling me. Have a look at it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Something got fired in the garage, and that's where all fireworks were. The good news is it's wet and rainy.
Better call Peter Klein.
I think so.
Call Peter Klein. Cloud Law.
For a couple days.
Wow. That's
Does any other country on earth do this? Like the obsession with fireworks?
That's like those deep frying turkey Chinese disasters.
Yes. Oh. That's what I thought of when I saw that one too. Yeah.
Well, that was good stuff.
You know what though? To their credit, that's a big budget on fireworks. Like they didn't go halfway. They went all out for that.
I just hope it didn't eat into the restoration budget for the garage because that's going to be a big bill too. That's your Pinder report, Dean.
There you go. Village Honda.
Is that what happened to you, Dean? Were you down and out because you were lighting fireworks?
Yeah, that's right.
On the 4th?
That's why I wear the sunglasses. My eyes from the friggin' fireworks. Get road trip ready at Village Honda. Make sure your vehicle is all set for the summer travel. The service all makes and models. Stop in and let the award-winning service department take care of you. Your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary is Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall. Speaking of road trips, I see our Anthony from Village Honda's got his family out on the... we talked about it the other day. They're doing their... pulling the trailer through the U.S. I don't know if I need to be telling people.
Roadie.
Friend of the show. Big roadie.
And apparently Vegas. The boys, is their first time to Vegas.
That. Yeah. Definitely take your kids to Vegas.
Eyes wide open. Did you guys see that new MGM Sphere?
Ooh, the Sphere is
they've been building this in Vegas for ages. I'm sure it's just small tag, no big deal.
Well, we waste $2 billion on all kinds of shit.
$2 billion?
North of $2 billion for that.
You could fart out a McMahon and a baseball stadium for that.
Put it inside the Sphere. God.
And the punt hits the
idea, guys.
Marked at the 15-yard line.
Use your heads.
Yeah,
it's wild. Guy. So man, I should have put that in the pin for. God damn it, Jack! Why am I such an idiot, Jack?
Listen,
Jack,
Ryan,
don't let me be an idiot.
Ryan, trust me. There's F-all to talk about for the next month.
I know. I'll save it. But I'm just literally like liking the tweet and sharing it. And
It does look wicked.
It looks unreal. What have you seen from the Sphere, Dino? You seen this on the Twitters?
Oh, yeah. It's because like you said, they've been building this thing forever. There's one of these in the world. It is absolutely state of the art, as $2 billion will tell you. But yeah, it's phenomenal. And then I don't even know if it's like officially open, but they started doing the testing of the outside LED stuff on July 4th. And yeah, it's bananas. It's crazy.
What's
the technology
it?
is
A casino.
How big is it? Like it looks huge.
Come on.
Yeah, I had no idea when I first heard about it. I thought, okay, they're building this globe type of thing, way bigger than stands to reason. It's in Vegas, but I think concerts, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's and on the inside, sound quality is you can't find anything else like it in the world. Yeah, that sort of thing. So,
but to be clear, at entertainment complex on the outside, for those who aren't familiar, it's basically like a square kilometer of LED screens, whatever. Like they made it look like an alligator eyeball. It looked like the moon. It was looking like the Earth. They can do anything with it. It's wild. Yeah, look at this.
Attaboy.
Holy moly! Yeah, Jack, there you are.
So you get perspective there. Those are the cars,
Those are cars.
right at a stoplight.
That's a freeway. Yeah,
yeah.
That's the strip.
And that is just between.
Man.
Just off, it's just off the strip. It's in behind the Venetian, I believe.
Seems quite big.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of people who are like, what is happening? Apocalypse, because they had it the moon, and it looked like the moon was just sitting on the Earth.
And already,
street lamp.
Yeah, already I read people were complaining, could you turn it off, please? I'm trying to sleep.
It's Vegas. Fuck you. You don't sleep.
So by 11 p.m. or something, they had to turn the lights off
Like
or
the
turn them
grumpy
down.
pricks in your area that won't let the kids play hockey at night because they've got to get lights on.
In my area.
Idiots.
Come
you
on,
people.
my area. There's all kinds of crime going on in my area. There's no one's complaining about that. Oh, I don't know. It feels like it. I could tell you my flame thing now if you want.
Oh yeah. You've been staring at the ceiling, sick as a dog, vomiting, dabbing your forehead. What's come to mind?
And it was just that clarity. What are they doing with Elias Lindholm? Like, they cannot give Elias Lindholm.
They're not doing anything with Elias Lindholm. Elias Lindholm is doing with them.
You want to try that again?
Let's be clear who's in the
want to go
driver's
again?
seat here.
Elias
Lindholm is running this whole process.
That's
what's Connie do? Give him a deadline? Nah, that deadline doesn't work for me. They need him. They're supposed to be good.
Give it back when you're ready is kind of the.
Well, and to be fair, there's a huge crop of UFAs next summer in the exact same spot as Elias Lindholm that no one's talking about. We know it's talking about Steven Stamkos' deal is up in a year. No one's asked.
Stamkos is not.
Take Elias Lindholm. Take Elias Lindholm and take the year with Tkachuk and Gaudreau out.
Yeah.
What do you pay that guy? Because that's who he is. In
6.5,
fairness
7?
to him, he's a fine hockey player. But when you're talking in the neighborhood of $9 million on an 8, I'm sorry, I know the cap's going up, and I'm slow to catch up with this stuff. That's elite player status. That's elite money. He's not an elite player. And you're already paying one guy who looks like he isn't elite money. If you're not coming for less, then you're out. You have to take less to be here.
And I'm sorry, he's going to get Bo Horvat money. I would think a lot of teams that prefer him to Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat never scored a bunch of goals until 1 year last year. And so if you're his agent, like, why are you going to take less?
It.
What's happening there? Are they good or not? Like, we're not giving you an answer. We need to see if this is good or not.
Yeah.
Well,
I get it.
Maybe the problem for Lindholm is if I go play another year, am I actually improving my status for UFA?
There's enough out there on the guy, but you're right. It'd be nice to be in honestly, maybe he gets put back with Huberdeau and everything looks way better. But when he was next to Dubé and Toffoli, he looked more of a 1B than a 1A center.
Which is part of what I was going to bring up. We still don't know what's the deal with Huberdeau and Lindholm, because here's your number one center and your best winger who never played together for any amount of time. Now, is that a coaching decision or is that a chemistry thing? Is there something going on? It's still too much
with guys he likes. Isn't that the quote?
That's what Daryl said.
And there wasn't a lot of clarity around it.
And I get what the agent does. I understand how comparables work. But if I'm Craig Conroy, I can't run my team according to how Lou Lamoriello pays his guys. I'm sorry. I have a unique set of circumstances like every team does. We in Calgary have a different set of principles and ideals and financial capabilities and the structure than what Lou. That's great. Bo Horvat can make his money. And if they are comparable age-wise and production-wise, that's fine. It's 8 years at 8.5.
No, what did Vancouver get for Bo?
A first, and then they turned it into Philip Hronik, who's in
just
his
a first.
And that Artu Ratti is like a prospect centerman that may or may not be something. I'd say B prospect. Wasn't overwhelming.
Prospect.
I'm confused at what the approach is overall for Conroy. I'm not. I know there's a game plan, and I know that a lot of this is based on, well, for us to sit here and go make moves, we don't know what the offers are.
We don't, and we also don't know what his marching orders are. Like if he's asked to make the playoffs, you can see why he's letting Elias control this, because there's no, I can't envision this team being competitive without Elias Lindholm. There's no one else that can eat first line center anything. I'm sorry.
To me, it goes back to being in a shit situation, and you better pray as a Flames fan that if everyone comes back, everything's different because they got a different coach. Ryan Huska better be a magician, because they're going to come back with the same stuff, and if it don't work out, you're in maybe you're not in a worse spot, but Huberdeau and Kadri aren't going to be better years after, right? Like if Lindholm's coming back, it's because he's signed, isn't it?
Like I think he would come back and be here to finish his contract. He hasn't asked for a trade, but you don't want that guy playing the UFA year. Craig kind of put himself in a tough spot when he said that at the press conference, and you can believe it, but it's just one of those reasons why GMs don't say a lot, because now you're trying to make deals on all these pending UFAs, and other teams are like, oh, I saw what you said there. I'm going to squeeze you a bit because you said that. And now you put yourself
Ryan, you always put way too much stock into what people say at press conferences. Like, you really do. Like, it's like, what else is he going to say? Yeah, I don't know. We'll roll the dice, and if we lose him for nothing, we lose him for nothing. People what else was he going to say that day? There's nothing else he could have said.
I don't care what he said. I just think that he's given him too much say in the process. It should have been day before a draft. If you don't have a decision made, I'm moving you for whatever I can get. Same with Hannafin. Again, easy for Rhett to sit here with no clue what the offers are. But even if they aren't what you think the most hopeful fans might want, I still think a restart was a better approach, and I don't think they're going to get there. Or you're delaying it another year.
Now it becomes like the unintentional rebuild. If we bring this back and it doesn't work, it's a tough spot when you're trying to move guys in season. And if they bring them back, they might be okay. Like I could definitely see them being on a bubble at the deadline in a really tough spot. And that's the spot Connie didn't want to be in.
Because remember, you talk about how long contracts are, and you say, oh, it's a 5-year deal. 5-year deal feels like an eternity. How long did this season feel when we were talking about Jonathan Huberdeau? That raise kicked in 6 days ago. We were already talking about this $10 million cap hit. It wasn't even in yet. Yeah. What if in, say, 2 or 3 years, and let's say 3 years because entry-level deals, is it crazy to think that you're dealing with Matthew Coronado, who might be a 20-goal guy, and maybe in 2 years, hey, this Jacob Pelche, here's a guy that's flirting with 20, and Sharon Govich, his deal is up, and he's been a guy that's in that 20-goal range, and all of these guys, these are the younger guys. I get it. You look at the cap's going up in a year, and this is the team you have now. But don't you have to use some sort of foresight in this? What are the other guys in this roster projected to do? And what if that best case is, hey, we got some high-end players here, some good high-end young players that we're loath to lose, but now they're RFAs with arb rights, and we're having to trade them like a Kevin Fiala or whoever because we got money tied up in a 31, 32, 33-year-old.
That's the problem with the Flames are in with this signing with Lindholm. You've committed your big money to aging players. The league nowadays, most of the big money's going to the kids that are in the right age group, is it not?
In 2 years, they have $52 million of cap space. So I hear the concern, and you have to be smart, but it's not dire. But I think the bigger point is the rebuild. We all thought it was a really nice chance to reset, and the more you hear to people closer to the org, it's like, no, they're definitely not rebuilding. They're going to try to make the playoffs this year, and that's kind of how it goes here. They didn't want to rebuild until it was so obvious that Jerome couldn't carry a team into the playoffs after years of people saying this team isn't good enough. Trade Jerome while he's worth something. Came out 41-goal season, trade him for everything. You didn't even get in with him, get scoring 40. Until the team was so bad they had to rebuild. They've never chosen to rebuild. Yeah. And here we are.
Even that, well, they did rebuild. I can't say they didn't.
But they had to.
Yeah.
They were capped out and bad. That's not a choice. That's the only option you have.
And this is the issue. It feels like a repeat of what we've seen before, which is not what I expected. And you did have a chance. And again, you can trade Hannafin and Lindholm and back them during the year, and you can get assets. But it's just pushing it a year down. Like it's pushing it down the road. You're just kicking the can down the road.
Somehow, some way, they had another first at this year's draft. That's a kid a year closer to getting here. In theory, it's a deep crop, but that's past. And I understand why Les Lindholm doesn't have any interest in giving them an answer right now, because why in the heck would you? It's like your greatest chance for a payday in your career is next summer. It's not right now. And so Austin Matthews, Anze Kopitar, Steven Stamkos, Sebastian Aho, William Nylander, Sam Reinhart, Connor Hellebuck, Mark Scheifele, all these guys, Adam Henrique. That's
now the thing is, let's be
all
honest.
Up next year, no one's extending right now.
Not a lot of those guys are going to be candidates to come here. Whether people want to hear it or not, Calgary is not a destination. You have to overpay those guys as well to get them here. So it's not the best answer either.
I'm just saying players aren't committing a year out. I'm not talking about those guys coming here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just if you're looking to replace Lindholm,
I think, but every guy's an individual issue.
Anze
Kopitar's not going anywhere.
He's an LA King.
Like fuck, he's not going after money. He's staying in LA. Stamkos is staying in fucking Tampa Bay, and
Matthews and Nylander, we don't know.
That's iffy.
Yeah. Aho, he probably likes Carolina, but they seem to be pretty cheap. We'll see how that goes. Point being, even if you're staying there, they haven't got these deals done because they'd rather wait and see, oh, shit, it might be worth 10. I thought it was 9.
Which is fine, but I don't think we're talking about the player's perspective here, Ryan. Okay. I get the players. If you're going to give me all the say, I'll take it.
I think he has the leverage,
As GM, this is the issue they ran in with Gaudreau and all the rest of them. You gave them all the leverage and waited – Please.
And so put yourself in Connie's shoes. Let's say
Elias fucking before the draft, let us know. Pick or choose, bud.
And so what if Elias Lindholm on the day of the draft, I'm just hypothetical here, he says, I'm not ready to make a decision. I could re-up here. I might not. Him. And that's probably where they're at. And so now Connie's got this marching order. We got to make the playoffs. And his guy says, I'm not ready to commit either way. That's probably exactly where we're at.
I bet you that happens all the time. Because you've said it before, Rhett. When you don't have an answer, you kind of have an answer.
There's the answer.
If you're in, you're in. That's great. Then let's get this contract done and we'll hammer it out well in advance of July 1 or whatever. Then we're done. But if you're, I'm going to see, I'm not sure. Okay. Then
what are you waiting on?
Then I kind of have your answer.
So is that just the Lindholm situation or some other guys? Like I think if Aho has said no to extending at this point, does that mean he's not going to sign Carolina?
Well, I just think back to when Lindholm was traded the first time. I bet you it was very similar. That's what got him dealt out of Carolina because they couldn't come to term on an extension. And
he's an R. I think it's pretty different. Oh, I hear what you're saying. He needed a deal.
He needed a deal. I honestly, I think it probably happens when guys are traded a lot. It's shit or get off the pot, and I get it. It would be hard for any of us to sit there and be able to map out the next 8 or 9 years of our life. But that's you know what? That's one of the things that comes with making that kind of money. You got to make some bold decisions in your life and make some decisions. And it's not the hardest thing in the world. I'll live in Calgary or I'll live. Make the decision. If you're in, then let's do it. And if not, then you have to understand our spot here. And we're going to have to do what's best for us.
The only
I
thing
just
I
can't
consider with
$9 million.
God, it seems like a lot of money.
Oh, then you don't have a number one center. And I agree with you. I don't think he's worth that, but Connie can't make the playoffs without him. I believe
Doesn't that tell you everything, though? We applaud these other teams for making smart business choices. And we can all sit here and look each other in the eye and say, is he a $9 million guy now and moving forward? No. Then there's your answer.
Oh, I know, but we're not running the team.
Well,
I mean, if we're running the team, this guy's gone already, Dean. We're on the same team. Everyone here thinks we should rebuild. The challenge is that the Flames don't want him.
I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying that's the answer for you. Don't pay guys more than they're worth to be here, because that gets you in trouble where you're overpaying.
Mm-hmm. What did Trotz say in Nashville?
We want guys that want to be here. We don't want retirement contracts. And then who did he send out? Duchesne and Johansson, guys that are good guys and good players, but it was not like, I want to win at all costs. It will burn me up if I don't win. We'll just buy you out or trade you for nothing. We'd rather use that space on guys that'll go through a wall for this team. And Connie said the same thing. Guys don't want to be Flames.
Yes, but that's just, you've got your answer, right? And he's not saying I'm dead set on being a Calgary Flame.
No, he's
and
not.
I don't care, because that's the player's prerogative to have that opinion.
Yeah.
But as the GM and as the owner, you should be looking at and going, okay, clearly he's not committed to this.
Yeah, and the challenge is that, like, I'm sorry, the owner's the one that says they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think Connie would be really okay with rebuilding. So, like, what do you do? Tell the owner how to run his $1 billion
you should
toy?
have went after fucking Foligno and O'Reilly, and if this is the win, if this is a win at all costs thing, then let's go.
It's that tightrope they're trying to walk. They know they got to get younger. You know, you've got some guys that are going to be expensive and old, and still stay competitive while you're doing that too.
And that $52 million you talked about, I don't give a shit if you spend to the cap. It's irrelevant to me. I don't care if they want to spend to the cap. Spend the money wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Use the cap space to get picks and better players.
Man.
I don't care if just because you got $3 million in cap space doesn't mean you overpay to get a guy. Yeah. That's the problem.
If you had cap space this summer, think of the things you could have got for almost free. Like
Yes.
Kevin Hayes coming off a career year with 3 years left. Taylor Hall, who's still a very good player, not a star, but like, Jesus, you got him for nothing. Like, it's wild the things you could do if you just had cap space. This
and
team,
the other
if
part
it was
of this
really tactically smart from the top, would be, this is a strategic rebuild with cap space, and we'll take your bad contract for 1 or 2. More picks and more prospects.
And that's why it's got to be Chestnut. I'm so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Chestnut. I've said it 100 times in the last 2 weeks. But whether you win the Lindholm and the Hannafin trade and all of this shit is almost irrelevant. If you get one solid piece and you have the cap space now, you're allowing yourself to manage this team however you want. You can play in the sandbox. You sign these guys, you're F. There's nothing you can do.
You're totally right. It's like you could lose one of these bigger deals by a small margin, but more important, are you philosophically having a plan for the next 5 years? That's more important than this one trade.
And for some teams, it is checkers because they're close. I would think for Florida, for Colorado, right? It's right now. It's checkers. It's not a long
Toronto.
game. I just, again, you take a step back when you stop talking about it every day, and then it's like, so what do you want to make the playoffs?
Obvious.
Well, that's great. What are you risking tearing down here? It's a team that missed the playoffs. Like, could you not go in and argue that moving out these older pieces and getting younger, that's our attempt at making the playoffs? Young teams make the playoffs. We were not a young team, and we friggin' missed. Like, what are you stripping bare here if you do?
The thing the owner cares about. You haven't talked about the bottom line. So what happens to attendance and where's your playoff revenue? Like, that's where the owner's focused, if we're being honest.
And again,
go up. I think attendance.
Well, the fans are not going to
help. I agree.
I think it's short term. I honestly do. I think the fans would be more intrigued and what they're going to, the team can sell. We are younger because Lewis is gone and Lucic is gone. Mm-hmm. That fourth line is going to be young.
Yeah.
It's just that for us, I think we recognize it as it's still not enough. You're still committing big money to aging assets and not allowing more, and you don't have the cap space to muddle about and to take a bad contract to get blah blah blah. So they will say it's younger, right?
Yeah, and they are. Like Sharangovich is younger than Toffoli, but it's more than one or two guys. Yeah.
And then
but you know what else? You know what else causes apathy in a fan base is when you go to games on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday night and watch a highly paid older team shit themselves and play awful, and you're like, oh, how did they lose to Chicago? I can't believe we went and watched them lose to Anaheim. That doesn't make guys and girls and people and families. They're no hungrier to go back to the rink or buy season tickets or game packs than when a team is young and taking a swing for it. Like that's the whole thing. You don't have a playoff team, you don't have an elite team, and you don't have a team that's a thrill to watch every night.
You don't have.
You're not sacrificing anything here.
If you have Markstrom from 2 years ago, you are a playoff team. Sorry. It's not just that cut and dried. Like they were really close to making it and everything went wrong this year. That's the challenge. And I think it would be easier for the organization if they were fucking awful and like bottom 5 in the league. Instead, they had more points than Florida and were finished 16th in the league. And mucky middle, that gray area. You're sort of saying there's no way they can make the playoffs. That's
no, but listen, if they trade Hanifin... If they trade Hanifin and Lindholm, they've still got Huberdeau and Kadri and Coleman and Dubé. It's not like you're going with a bunch of unknowns, right? You still have Rasmus Anderson. You've
5 picks, right?
But all I'm saying is, if you make the playoffs, you've still got Markstrom for 2 years. Well, yeah, but you're still going to have other guys who are NHL players. And I would say you are still as strong a candidate to make the playoffs as if you paid Lindholm a crazy number on an extension and kept Hanifin or whatever you did.
You think this team's as good with or without Lindholm? I think it's a massive drop off without Lindholm.
I think
I don't want to. I'm not.
Again, you're not going to put nobody in there. It's like that Zadina kid. He's not going to make zero. He's not giving up 4.5 to go make zero. Yeah. So it's not a zero-sum game. Like you're going to put someone else in there that is going to be given the opportunity to have success. And the Markstrom problem is he may not have been good last year. Well, he wasn't. But if he is good, are you making it on the backs of him? And that's fine. Then why don't you just base your plan around that goaltender then? Because
I think they are.
You know what I mean?
They're expecting to get better goaltending.
It's a Kiprusoff scenario where we're real effing close with Kipper all the time.
Yeah.
Because Kipper hid the warts.
Yeah.
He hid the issues. He saved you from looking like shit. Well, is that a good thing? Like just match up the speed. The game is fucking fast nowadays. We're not fast.
Yeah, the Toffoli deal got faster, but it's a guy that's a big question mark, right?
I just feel like there's this.
You don't look at the team and go, "That's a fast team."
No,
there's not another team in the league that goes, "Jesus," when these guys come. Oh,
no, but to be fair, Lewis out, Lucic out, Nick Ritchie out, Pelche in, Coronado in, a guy like Walker Duehr gets more ice, Sharangovich, like that's already a 30-year forward group that's a better skater than you had in the same spot last year. So it's happening. And I'm with you, Dean. Like you can't pay him what Lindholm's camp wants, but you also can't make it without him. It's an impossible spot for Connie here. I think it is.
I just feel like there's this feeling like you got to make the playoffs. So this is how you make the playoffs. Except you didn't make the playoffs. You're not if you are to go in tiers. So if Vegas is the champ, they beat Florida, then you've got like who are the teams where do you put the Flames? Where do you stack them in after Dallas and Edmonton and Colorado and
right in the middle of the pack, right where they finished in the standings last year, 16th. And then I bet you if you look at cup odds, they're right around 16th in the league.
If you sign even to have like you bring everybody back, what are you? Your chance to get in. And if you don't sign them and you make some moves, well, maybe your chances for this year have gone down a little bit. But have they? How can you say?
I'm telling you, you know what it is? It's selling a house. The house you live in is nicer than the one across the street because you know it. Right? Like we think because we know Lindholm and we know Hannah. Well, this is way better than something you don't know about. Well, maybe it's not. Like fill those holes and let somebody else go. Anyway,
how did you feel about this roster a year ago today? You know, they just
I had
swung the
major
Kachuk
questions.
deal. You had questions, but you still probably thought they're a playoff team. Dean, you would have been really bullish on this group. It's not that different.
Well,
it's
listen, but it's more clear for us.
But we're a year smarter
and so
now.
Went so poorly. It went so poorly that the GM's gone, the head coach is gone, and you've made so. I still, you have to remember, like, there's talent here. This isn't a bottom 10 roster in the league. You're in this weird mucky middle, which I think is the heart of this. All the issues. They're in peak sadness mode. They're either going to be last team into the playoffs or one of the first missing.
I can tell you what
I
know.
Not a rebuild or a competitive window.
Matthew Tkachuk is a star. They miss Gaudreau in all facets. 5-on-5 power play. They miss him terribly, and the trade has not been a good one. And I don't expect. I expect Huber will have a better season, but I don't think he's getting 100 points. I just don't. That's what I could tell you. That's to go back and do today or judge today what you were thinking a year ago. I understand it. Everything went wrong. But do you take everything that you saw this year and just throw it out and try and draw nothing from it?
No, of course not. But if you told me they were 10% better, I'd say, okay, that's probably the effect of the coach and some goaltending, and the power play is run by someone who's got a better power play, and they're a little quicker. If you told me they're 10% better, I'd believe that. They're in the playoffs if they're 10% better. That's how close it is, right?
It's not that easy to say.
Of course it's not, but I'm
10% better. Everyone believes they're going to be 10% better.
I just think, how much do you chalk up to the coach? And we've talked about it. It isn't one thing, but it was a part. And when he started fucking around with the line 7 games in, you're like, what would this group look like if showing up to work they weren't like rain cloud?
I don't disagree.
It's something.
It's
I don't know how
impossible
much.
to argue, but you can't. We argue about this because we're both right. Daryl did it because he saw something wrong. Right? Like, he's not making those changes. I didn't agree with it. I think it was a terrible idea. And he did oversteer the team last year.
Yeah.
And he was maybe too hard, but he wasn't doing it because he thought they were in the right spot and it was going well. He did it because he could see that something's fucking wrong with this
trying
group.
to fix a problem.
And then he gets shit canned and the GM leaves because he's like, And then everyone's still saying, well, I'm not sure I want to stay here.
Yeah.
So there's more to it. Again, when the coach got canned, it's like, fine, here you go, fellas. It's yours now to run with. And you still got guys that are, I'm heading for the doors here. So it's like, I just can't put as much stock as Daryl was the issue. I'm sure he was part of it.
One of many.
But it's one of many. And we have the info now. Something ain't right down there.
And that's why there's a new coach. And so Huska's got a better idea what was right and wrong in there than we do. Can he fix it or get it to a point?
He's also a rookie NHL coach
100%.
that is not going desperate for the job. And in a good way. And we like him. And we're only praying that it goes well for him. But would Babcock, not that I even like Babcock as a coach, but would Vigneault or Babcock or Joel Quenneville or any of these guys come and said, I want to work with this squad. I want to work with this group of players.
No.
This is my first pick because I can see potential.
Yeah, and it's also not on the Flames shopping list. Again, I just keep circling
back.
It
doesn't matter.
No,
I'm
but no,
not
of course
asking
not.
about-
They're not choosing it. No, that looks like trouble. I'm staying away from that. Yeah, for sure.
And again,
It's an assistant coach turned coach. It's a new coach. What if they're 10% better? What if they're 10% worse? What if
we know
in year
what that
one?
looks like. Yeah.
What if in year one it's a struggle for Huska? What if there's injuries? They were stupid healthy last year. What if there's some injuries to deal with?
Totally. And it's easy if they're really bad this year. Sell fucking everyone. That's the easiest thing. The hardest part is if they're 8th in the West at the trade deadline and you got these guys. Like, that's the spot you don't want, and it's probably the most likely landing spot. They're not bad. They're not elite. They're not going to win a cup. They could probably make the playoffs, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. That is the fucking shitty, mucky middle that they have lived in this organization for way too many years out of the last 30. And it's the worst spot to be in because you don't pick high in the draft.
Yeah, and if they don't make it, we can sit here and say, I told you so. And that'll be we'll be proud of ourselves.
And what if you get to the end of the year and you miss the playoffs And now you're a year into the Huberdeau deal. You've got
That's the
Kadri,
shitty part.
and now a $9 million Lindholm extension kicks in, and he's a year older. And it becomes even clearer to you that the future and the strength of this team is in its younger guys. I think that's
then you
is that hard for me to convince to anybody that there's maybe some struggles this year, and that they're going to be right in that same dogfight for a playoff spot, and you get to the end of the year and you're like, Jesus, it'd be nice to have the cap's going up, but imagine what if we had a bunch of cap space right now? Because what's the one thing we know? Teams aren't belly aching because they have a bunch of cap space. Man, I don't know what we're going to do with.
How are we ready for almost free? Go get Hayes.
How are
for
we
free.
ever going to do this year?
Free.
Such a struggle to get to the floor.
Because Dallas would be the example, right? Where
there's a few. Every team's got a couple, contracts that are owners. If you're really smart around those few bad contracts, you're fine. The problem is if you get 4 or 5 of them, you're fucked. And the back end of Coleman's not going to be good. The back end for Huberdeau and Kadri is not going to be good. If you add one more to that group, I really worry about your flexibility.
Yeah. And I'm just curious what your thoughts would be if Dallas had managed their cap better, how much better would they be?
I mean, they were almost a Final Four team, or were they Final Four? Like they could have won a cup. They're all close.
They've benefited from Pavelski playing at such a high level at that age. Like it's awesome. But you just wonder if, and I don't know what you do, because at the time Ben was dominating.
Seguin looked like a star.
Looked like he might. But if they didn't have those, and Dallas doesn't have to overpay as much as Calgary to get guys.
You got $9.5 million on a second line winger and almost 10 on a third line winger in Seguin and Ben, and they still are a really good team that could afford to pay their young star goalie, that locked in guys that are really good, like Robertson and Hintz. These 2 deals for the Flames aren't going to sink their battleship. It's adding more like them that will sink their battleship. And that's why, Dean, you're totally valid in your fears of locking up Lindholm at 9, because it feels like an overpay and he ain't getting younger.
You know what? I was just, because I went to find it there. If you want to use comparables, how about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? Here's a guy, he was a first overall pick. He's a center, signed an 8-year deal, 5.1 and change per for 8 years.
Yeah, until this year.
You're not getting.
You're not both sides of the puck better than
right. But I mean, the guy had 100 points this year.
If Lindholm's playing with McDavid or Draisaitl, he can do that too. We saw him do
5 is different than 9.
Like they're different players.
They're both centers in the same province.
Yeah. One's not a number 1 center for sure. And if he's such a center, why is he playing the wing half the time? I don't think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is near the hockey player Lindholm. Sorry, but you're right. It's like they gave him all the term and a lower cap hit. But he's staying to hang around with 2 superstars and try to hang banners. That's not what Lindholm's looking at.
Oh, so he's there for the right reason?
Well, I mean, he got more term than he probably should have, and total dollars is pretty, but he's a lesser player, and he's in a spot where he can win. Lindholm is neither of those.
So there's your effing answer.
It's your answer for
now.
now.
In a spot where they can win. We're not in a spot to win.
Now, if you're at Christmas and you're leading the division and Markstrom and Wolf are hanging 9:30 and the power play's clicking and Shillington walks in, okay, maybe I can win and I'll resign. But why would I make my mind up now if I'm Lindholm? Fuck that. No one else has. I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to portray where the players are. Of course,
understand the players' side. Yeah. We're trying to fathom what can the Flames be seeing that we're not, because it doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah, I would 100% be telling Lindholm to do what he's doing. There's no no rush. The money is going to be there for you now at the end of the year or on July 1 of 2024. You're getting your money. So don't lock if you don't feel it. But we I think are all kind of talking from the perspective of the team. What do you do to bring a Stanley Cup to Calgary? That's the end goal.
Does the owner want that?
At least it should be.
Is that his end goal?
Of course he does. Right?
Why isn't he ever committed to a rebuild then? There's no 5-year plan, and you think he wants
There's no guarantee of a cup with a rebuild.
5-year plan? Of course not, but at least you have an idea of how you're going to get there. Where's the roadmap for this group?
Do you think Murray Edwards wants to win a Stanley Cup?
He'd love to. Is he committed to do the things it takes to win a cup?
Ryan, come on.
Okay,
does he want to win a Stanley Cup? Of course.
Yeah, but
you're both
how do
saying,
you get there?
We're
saying the same thing.
Yes.
The owner's a huge part of the problem here. I'm sorry. If you won't allow yourself to duck your head under for a bit to collect young, cheap assets, you're never getting there.
Well,
I'm not disagreeing. But for you to say
what are the GMs telling the owner to? I have no idea. I'm not saying you're wrong and Dean's right. I'm not. What's the delivery from Conroy to the owner? What was Treliving telling? Like, they treated a good job of compiling those players when that rebuild, and so those signings turned out to be, other than Monahan, and Monahan is such a weird one. He got hurt. That's
not bad signing. That's bad luck. Yeah.
It's bad luck. So the rebuild was a success. Why is that not the message that's being delivered? And if it's not, why isn't it? Because, like, that is a possibility that the GMs aren't, the owner's mandate, yes, make playoffs. Every owner in the league says make the playoffs.
Right.
Are the GMs being truthful with the owner and saying, we're not there? We need to tear some of this down and restart? You don't know that.
We don't know what that message is like at all.
From what the comments, you suspect that maybe that the owner's like, I don't know. That's not an approach I want. But if he's not hearing that, it's just like a trade. We don't know
what's the offer. We don't know what the lines of communication are. Is it marching orders and we don't talk? Or is it like, hey, let's get on the phone and talk philosophy for an hour a day, every day of the week? Like, maybe it's, here's your job, take it or leave it. I'll see you in December.
And the other
make
thing
the
is,
playoffs.
too, you have...
Here's how much money I want to make. I'll talk to you at Christmas.
The other thing is...
Go ahead, Dean.
I was just going to say, you have a body of evidence here from not that long ago. We held on to Iginla and Kiprusoff and Jay Bouwmeester. We've done this before where we were aging and we thought we were close, but we weren't. And we held on too long and we did not get what we should have gotten. If we would have hit on even another 2 or 3 players there, not star status, maybe one's really good and a couple guys, add that to the mix with Bennett, Monahan, Kachuk, Johnny, all of that. You're talking about a different story. You don't have to go outside the walls to show the owner why it makes sense to get the max return on these guys. And that feels like some of it's maybe past already because the draft is gone, but it feels like now's the time. Because I'm sorry, they can be 10% better. They are not. I do not see them in the class of Vegas or Colorado or Toronto or like
Dallas.
I agree. We're
Tampa
all agreeing
Bay,
with
Dallas.
If you gave like 10 GMs out there a look at this roster and say, what do you do? I think 9 of them say you got to start tearing this down. But that the Flames aren't doing that is very telling.
I'd love to know what the offers are. Would love to know.
Does it matter what the offers are? I mean, it does, but
no, it may not, right?
To a degree, it does. But you're right. The bigger point is, what's our 5-year plan?
Yeah,
that's more important than one
trade. You can live with the trade maybe not being a home run if you have that. If you've got a game plan to allow yourself and an agreement with the owner to allow that cap space to be utilized,
weaponize it. Let's
weaponized.
Go. Yeah. No, I don't think a lot of people are saying, "Hey, lock in these guys, get really old. You're going to win a cup." No one's selling that as a plan here. If they do it, it's troubling. It's obvious that this group is not a group that is a strong contender for the cup. And so if they do run guys back and pay them too much, it makes you wonder about who's making the decisions at the top and why.
And you have said it numerous times, Rhett, and I think most people probably agree that whatever the problem is, it's not fixed by simply having Daryl Sutter sitting in Viking, Alberta, or wherever he is. Like that.
How much
there's something
better
in that room.
is it at all?
There's something. The mix is wrong. The mix was wrong, and I can't imagine that Sutter and Toffoli were the guys dragging that room down. I think for Sutter, there's that. I mean, he is. There's a vibe that he brings with him. It's served him well in his career. It's going to be much different under Huska, but I don't think that instantly means 5 more wins. Because you're nicer to players.
We don't know, right?
Don't
we have to watch it play out. Yeah.
I wish him the best, and I hope it works out for everybody. But I just think about if you're at like what's the number where you're okay with Elias Lindholm signing? Not what should he get, what feels right Where if you it's probably getting 8 years at
He's gonna go
what?
term, for sure. Yeah. It's over 8.5 is tough. Even 8.5, you're like, but it seems to be what the market bears. Like he and Horvat and Dylan Larkin are in the same class. I'd probably take Lindholm out of those three. That's what they're getting.
You can pay him 9 if you don't have the other contracts and if you know what they're going to produce.
It's totally that. It's not his contract.
It's not his contract.
It's the list of contracts he joins.
Lindholm,
it's the collection of contracts he joins.
If Lindholm's here and he's making 9,
you build around him.
He's your highest paid player, I don't give a shit.
It's true.
I don't care.
It's totally true. It's the fact that you've got Kadri turning 33.
You don't need 27 million or whatever it's going to be tied up in those 3 aging assets. That's the issue. It has nothing to do with Lindholm.
It's totally true, and it's too bad because he's sort of in the crosshairs on this negotiation when really he shouldn't be. It's the other contracts that you can't do anything with that you're stuck with that make this one cumbersome. And if there's a wish list for Flames fans, it's Huberdeau back to a point a game and better than league average goaltending because it doesn't look like they're tearing this thing down. If you did, you just missed a lot of opportunities to do it. That's all. Ladar, where's the empty chair you're going to move him to? Who's got room for a top 4 defenseman on an expiring contract?
Now that you've gotten to this point, it's a patience game, and you just wait till the trade deadline and hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, or someone blows out a knee in training camp. It's like, okay, here's your D.
Yeah, whenever it is, but it's a patience thing now, where it's like, okay, well,
and maybe the Karlsson market changes things because someone's not going to get Karlsson that wants them, but I just no Hanifin ain't Karlsson either.
No, it's completely different. Yeah, and again, I go back to we're bitching about Lindholm and overpaying him, and he's the least of my concerns.
Yeah, really dependable
in a way,
player.
Right? Like because he might not be a bona fide number 1 center. Like I don't know where he stacks. If you went down the list,
he's their best forward, right? Like there's no.
But him. And I don't see him. He plays such a smart game. I don't see him ever being ineffective. You can play him as a third line center in 7 years.
Yeah.
And he knows how to play the game.
Like sort of Bergeron light.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's never going to have huge numbers, but you can always trust him defensively. Smart player. First over the boards on power play and penalty kill. Like he's your most important skater.
Yeah.
Can he play with Huberdeau? Because
that'd
be great if he could.
For 2 weeks.
It'd be great if he could.
To be fair. Yes. And whether that's a Huberdeau thing or a Lindholm thing or a Darryl thing, we don't know. I bet you Ryan Huska knows.
Well, Ryan Huska is going to find out. And Dougie Hamilton is a great example for me. You bring him in. Remember 15 minutes a night? What the hell are you doing?
Play the shit out of this guy.
Dougie Hamilton. Yeah. He skates like the wind. You don't like how he's play the piss out of him.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing with Huberdeau.
Yep. And that's what Huska said he was going to do too. This guy needs to be on the ice.
And don't you feel like you kind of you could potentially unlock a lot of those boxes with we're gonna play you two together and let's figure it out. If there's something up, then let's figure it out because your numbers and our success rate is probably all going to go up if you guys figure this out. If you guys can find some chemistry and make it work, it's probably going to be better for all of us.
Yeah, and that's where it's an easy argument from the owner if this is his argument. Okay, well, if Huberdeau gets 20 more points next year, and Markstrom is, like you said, 10% better. And we are younger.
Pelche, Coronado, Dewar. I'm missing another. Yeah.
Whoever.
Shillington's back. He plays with pace and has got, like you're going to be a much better skating team next year already.
Right.
I'm not going to say you're elite, but you're not going to be as bad as you were last year at all.
So I have a hard time with it because I feel like I've seen enough and I feel like there's something going on down at the Dome that isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dean said, I don't think it was Toffoli. Part of it might have been Darryl, but I don't think those are guys that Toffoli wasn't a guy that was ruining a room. I don't think. But regardless, if you bring in a bunch of young guys and the room gets cleaned up and Huska can figure it out, and then the owner's going, why would we do all this? Why do I need to go? And
this is the curse of the mucky middle. You could really play it either way. You can convince yourself they're awful, and you can convince yourself they're a playoff team if the bad bounces turn to good bounces. They are team 16-17 in the NHL.
And what if
13 to 17?
What if they are 13-17, but it becomes pretty clear There's a chance here that Pelche and Coronado might be our best players.
That's fine. You're Dallas.
Let's go. Just like they paid Rope Hintz and Jason Robertson. That's a great problem to have, Dean. Please be a thing.
You just have to like, you don't want it. I don't think it's, I think you had the chance to, well, I would have taken the opportunity to clean slate things and find out if Pelche and them are.
Yeah.
And that's all fine and good. I would have gone as far as paying $2 million of Kadri's contract. I would have dumped.
If you could, yeah.
I'm easy. It's not my money. I'm not smart at the cap. I can look at it and I go, I'm clean slating this, and I'm going to go cheap and young, and I'm going to find out who the stars are, and then I'm going to pay them when they're 23 to 30.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay a guy from 29 to 37. So that would have been, I don't care if I win the trade. I'm going to get something in place. I'm going to weaponize my cap space. Yeah. I'm going to pray that there's a Bedard down the road if I'm in that, or even a really good draft class coming up. And I'm going to restock the shelves that way. I'm going to believe that the kids that are coming up nowadays are better athletes. They're more talented, and they can all play. I don't want to risk overpaying in free agency to bring guys to Calgary. I'm going to bring in a plethora of youth, and I'm going to handpick who my stars are going to be, and we're going to rebuild it that way.
I'm in.
That's what I would have done, but you can argue the other side.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're arguing that other side, and we haven't talked really about them at all, but if you want to take the other side and think, well, our goaltending it's going to be better, and Huberdeau is going to be better, and Morale is going to be all of that.
Yeah.
Dylan Dubé coming off back-to-back 18 goal seasons. Let's get 20, or let's get more than 20 plus this year. And Andrew Mangiapane, we need to bounce back from you. So all of a sudden, if Dubé's a 20-goal guy and Mangiapane's back, what did he have, 30, whatever, even if he's north of 20 in that 2022 area, that's some depth, that's some middle scoring.
The other thing is Weegar's second half, guys. He looked like a top pair defenseman in the second half. He looked lost at sea in the first half. Those are two very different players. You get second half Weegar, that's very helpful. That's a huge coup for this group. Like he was no good until the new year.
You just know that every year it's going to be the same. God, if they're paying so much money to those,
you sell yourself. You sell yourself on fun. Oh, we're right there. If we can just
mucky middle, babe. Mucky middle.
Then you've maybe got to lose a younger player because you've got so much money in the top half.
You are in the playoffs come trade deadline. What are they doing then? Adding?
They've got 6 players under contract in 2 years. I'm not too worried about not being able to keep the guys you want to keep. The guys that get cut are the fat in the middle. Like maybe you walk Sharon Goich away for nothing as a 20-goal guy because you've got to pay a young kid. You're not letting young guys go. They know that. The teams keep their young stars. You don't lose young stars.
Well, you better pray that we have young stars.
Yep.
Well, that's going to be the difference.
And so you're right. And so it's like collect assets along the way and hit on your picks. I thought I liked their draft class. It's obviously everyone likes their draft class a month out when you talk to teams, but there was a lot of skill that they picked up this year. And maybe that's a representation of the caliber of player that was available, but it's not crazy to think Hansa could be in this lineup in 2 seasons. He's already a year older than the rest of his draft class. He can play in the American League next year. He's going to be his double slide. And now all of a sudden, boom, like in 2 years, there's other old guys contracts are falling off. Dustin Wolf, is he a thing? We'll find out this year. It's mucky middle. You can sell it either way, boys.
Even one more. What if you had one prospect in addition to all of them, right? I want to see Coronado, and I guess Zeri is somewhere in there.
Zeri
and
has
about Poirier and all that.
Play into this though, doesn't he? Like,
yeah, I'm sure he does.
If he's going to be a part, he's going to play into it soon. If he's not going to be a part, it's
first rounder. If
they
you had even one more,
and took him.
They traded back twice.
Back like they pick more picks because they had a box of guys and Zeri was in it, and he was still there when they traded down twice.
HearingLoss.ca, the website for the Hearing Loss Clinic. Men and women of all ages, of course, children. Everybody can suffer from hearing loss for any number of reasons. There can be, and has been proven, serious health risks are linked to untreated hearing loss. Don't be one of those people that has untreated hearing. Go and book an appointment today, hearingloss.ca. There's 4 locations in Calgary. I think Calgary's a big place. 4 locations, and they're not all in the same spot either. It's not like Chinook Mall and there's 4 hearing loss clinics in
Not a 4-pack there?
No, it's not what they're doing. Okay. Northwest in the Crowfoot Business Center, North Hill Professional Offices, University District, and in Shaughnessy. Book yourself in. Make a point of doing it. Find some time in your summer to get in there, get your hearing looked after, just like you would with your teeth and your eyes. It's just a part of being healthy, part of taking care of your body. Hearingloss.ca, Hearing Loss Clinic. There you see on Twitter, if Twitter's still a thing, at the Hearing Loss, Instagram, the Hearing Loss Clinic.
Can I have another critique of the squad?
Yeah, bud.
Last year at the trade deadline was where they effed up. They should have been move guys in. You get picks in that draft class. That's when those picks were made.
Yeah,
or picked
that's
up,
where those
right?
picks were trading hands for
right?
sure. Yep.
That's where you would have got into this draft class. You were stubborn bastards thinking, well, we're right there. We're going to make it. No, you're not.
They went 11-4-4 and still missed.
So you should have. That's where the miss was made.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it's easy to go back in time. But was anyone confused
to Foley there
at what you were? Last year none of us fucking sell would have been my mandate.
It's It was the mushy middle again, but you knew even on a heater they probably wouldn't be enough.
Well, and even if you got in, you're going to get crushed.
Probably. Yeah.
The 2 years where they missed the playoffs and they pretended like we were going to we're close. That's where they effed up.
Well, and
they
you're
didn't
sorry,
move the Giordano
when you were playing or recently?
No, just recently.
Okay,
over the last 4 or 5 years. Remember the
Canadian division
first place miss.
Yeah.
The year they didn't make, they missed Gio.
Yeah.
First rounder, huge asset, useless. Yes, cap space, but you could have had a first and cap space.
Yeah. They missed that big time.
Now you could dump Monahan and that, it all plays out. Mm-hmm. And if you go back to those, that's where the mismanagement happened.
When they weren't
competitive.
They looked in the mirror and thought they were.
Prayed that you were close and you just weren't, and you could have moved pieces. That's when you get return.
It's the pattern. If they missed first. This year they're going to be first, clearly.
Yeah.
The one thing they did there that they didn't do, which would have just kind of all linked it together, was give Seattle something to bring Gio back. Remember there was talk of that?
Yeah, that's the only. Yeah.
We'll give you something to not take Gio, take somebody
take
else
Gio.
Or whatever. It's what are we talking about? Now you're going to give up.
Yeah, we need
picks?
a first and a second to keep Gio.
Fuck. What? Come on. What are we doing? It shouldn't
they
be
were
this
way
hard.
out that year. It was so
it's
bad.
Not this hard. Yeah. It's not this hard.
Boy, that's a lot of flames, Dean. You were staring at the ceiling. I could see how your head would keep churning there because there's a lot there.
Yeah. Not done
Brain
yet.
twitches?
I know you guys we talked about the other day. You got 3 goalies. You got right. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
easy,
no
but-
problems at all.
Retro, I hope you're ready. It's time for the weekend weather with Bonton Meats. Bonton Meat Market. The original Bonton opened its doors in 1921, and all they've done since then is provide the highest quality product and treat customers like family. AAA Alberta beef, free-range poultry, grain-fed Alberta lamb, milk-fed veal, and fresh Alberta pork. Once again, Bonton voted Calgary Consumer Choice Award winner for the best deli meat market in Calgary, located at 28 Crowfoot Circle Northwest. I realize that today's Thursday, but here is what we've got for you. Friday, tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, 23 degrees. Saturday, sunny and 27. Sunday, sunny and 28 degrees.
That is some barbecue weekend, Rhett. You've been. What kind of meat are you?
That's your Bonton forecast. We got 3 days, 23, 27, and 28. How are we breaking down our barbecue weekend?
Chance of showers on Friday, Sunday. Saturday is your safe bet for no moisture, Dean. But it's Stampede.
Okay, Ryan. Christ.
I'm sorry, Dean.
Actually, there's a small chance. Sorry to correct you there, Boom, but there is a
Saturday's your
chance
day,
of precipitation.
You're inside all day. We're just letting people that leave their house outside know what it's going to be like.
That's great, Ryan.
I think
Thanks.
Saturday is your best chance, Retro. What media?
Okay.
I can't do it Saturday because I'm going to Montreal.
Oh, that's right. So you got to get this done.
C'est dommage.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cooking tomorrow. If I cook, I'm going to cook tomorrow.
That's Friday. I thought you said Saturday.
Tomorrow's Friday. I'm leaving Saturday, so I can't cook on the weekend. Is what I'm getting.
Okay.
So tomorrow I'm going to make Maui ribs.
Maui ribs, nice. Maui
Ever done it?
ribs.
So good.
So
And then you
good.
just keep eating.
Yeah.
Justin Vena Nova. That's luau vibes right there.
There you go.
Get him coming over.
You can go online to find that recipe for Maui ribs. They actually they sell the trademarked Maui rib sauce, or the Maui sauce. You can find it at the odd grocery store. How would you describe it, Rhett?
Sweet and tangy.
I was going to say there's some kind of a bottom end to it. It's got some balls, because a lot of times when you have a sweet, you're thinking sweet and sour. It's up here, it's kind of sweet. It's got some sweetness, but it's got some balls to it. There's a nice little bottom end. There's a dumper on it. It's a big dumper right on the bottom of the Maui sauce.
What are they?
So good.
I won't think of the word right now, but there's a word for that.
Balls?
No.
Balls is good. I mean, you're making the point well.
Another word for balls?
No, it's not. No.
If you're there, don't go there.
No. Bonton Meats, 28 Crowfoot Circle Northwest. Going to Montreal. You were on the fence, Sur La Fence, for a while, but that's what you're doing.
Yeah, committed. I'm going to try and get together with Speedy Matthew Lombardi.
No way.
So
Sunday
fast.
night.
I thought he was in Switzerland. Didn't he check? No. Okay.
He's been hiding in Quebec for a few years.
Wow. Boy, was he fast.
So fast.
So fast.
That Bob Germany on the Flames Nation, he does much stuff for us. He had a
no one knows what when you say that. No one knows. Like Rhett doesn't know what you're talking about. I barely know what you're talking about.
I do know. I'm not.
Robert Munich on Flames Nation. He posts a random Flames goal a day every day, and one was Lombardi, just absolute afterburners around a D and scored. And you're like, yeah, there was one of those a year. You could do that
so
every
tempting.
game. God, he looked like Pavel Bure if he could do it every night.
To the net.
So fast.
Turn into
So
the
fast.
slot.
Where's it going?
Because
but he's fast.
they'd be doing video. It's like, Matthew, just do more of that. See, you've got it. It's in your toolbox. We just need you to do more of that. It's the curling off to the corner.
They call it play it. You got to be able to play in the middle of the ice, Dean.
Yeah.
Less of
Play in the
that.
middle.
North south.
Speed.
Matthew. North south.
Get into the middle.
So we are. I guess we're into it now. It is the Barn Burner summer vacation. We are scaling back to, we're going to say on average, because if there's one thing you know about us, seat of our pants. 3 days a week is where we're going to slot some shows in. Again, it's like a lot. Ish. Maybe in studio, maybe at home, maybe in Sask, maybe in California.
Buffalo?
There's no telling.
Montreal.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. So final show, we're not on tomorrow, but then next week we are going to roll 3 shows. And part of what we're doing throughout the summer, we've kind of talked about it, but it's not like it's a different format. We've taken some time to sit down with some of our buddies, some friends of the show, former Flames, and it's going to continue over the course of the summer. Athletes, people with stories to tell, sit down in a very relaxed kind of a setting, because we are very relaxing. We put people at ease. And next week, a sit down with Robin Regier, your buddy, Retro. You and I have spent quite a while with Robin in these studios not long ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was expecting it to go that long.
It did keep going. I noticed that. Yeah.
It was great.
I was like, shit, this is an hour and we aren't even out of junior yet.
People are going to
This is
love
gonna-
it.
whew.
I think he
Well, that's-
wondered if we were calling him in to just talk Flames. It's like right now.
Yeah.
Stuff. and all of a sudden we're hitting them with life stories.
Do you think it's better this way, where we catch them off guard and they're more, less guarded about it, or do we need to start telling people we'd like you to come in for a long form discussion about your life?
I sort of think the move is like, hey, you don't have anything for the next 3, no time sensitive. Perfect. Yeah, come on.
Don't book. We won't book you if you get.
If you're teeing off in an hour, this isn't going to work. We need to.
Yeah. But he's a guy, and I kind of, when I was putting the stuff together for it, you feel like, well, this is Robin Regier, Sasker, Western Hockey League, NHL. That's your Canadian hockey story. Except this is nothing like your Canadian hockey story. Born in Brazil, grew up for a stretch in Indonesia before. There's a lot there, which is why it ended up, I think, running long, because he's always been a very thoughtful guy. We always kind of, as media people, we searched him out in the room when you were looking for comments or stuff, because it wasn't the take him one game at a time and player a game bullshit. He was an honest guy, and I really enjoyed it. I'm with you. I think people are really going to enjoy this too. There's some highs and lows, obviously, and we'll run that starting on Tuesday, I believe. Right? Is that what we decided? Tuesday?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday? I thought, because... Okay, so I'll finish. So next week, yeah, we're going to do the Robin Regier over the course of the week. We had discussed, this is now an off-show conversation. You weren't there.
Oh, good, yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday feels like a...
Pocket?
If you're going to do 3.
Sure. Bang them out.
Because then you got the weekends to kind of,
Whatever works. I'm easy, man. And I think not knowing how these were going to go and then doing a few of them, you're like, oh shit, these are unreal. People are going to love them. And I think we've got a few in the hopper. We will add more because I think it is, everyone does have a story, blah, 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 but there are some exceptionally unique stories in this market with players that are beloved and are still active in the community.
And it's not just Flames, right? There's fascinating Calgarians, so I am looking forward to it. I hope people like it. I think that they will.
They will. I have no doubt.
The course of time, we've come to appreciate a little bit what our fellas and what our listeners like. So be listening next week as we'll get into that, sitting down with Robin, and then we've got some Hall of Famers coming in. One very recent Hall of Famer. Yeah.
We should get some
highs and
front
lows.
office staff to come down.
Yeah, when do we have? You played all these guys, the front office. Now those are all your buddies. When do we get them in? What's the story here?
Text one of them the other day. Crickets.
No,
sure he changed his numbers.
It's busy.
I'm told it's very busy. We'll
not the draft, guys. It's really busy.
We're gonna check back in after Stampede.
Camp.
We'll check back in after Stampede.
So. They're on the ice today. We saw some footage of that. That's the development camps underway here. They'll be done Saturday afternoon.
So are you spending a week in Montreal? What's the
Saturday to Wednesday? It's going to be great. Really looking forward to it.
Cheap hotel rooms, I bet, in Montreal in July.
I think you found
no
a sweet
different
spot,
than
to be honest.
Anywhere else.
If it's F1 or just for Laughs or Jazz, you're screwed. But I feel like you've got a down weekend there. There isn't some huge festival down every street. Yeah,
it's just going to be quiet.
So are you smoked meat guy? Are you one of those guys like, man, when are we going for smoke?
What dumb question. Remember when I said the media is stupid?
I assume that you are, but it'd be like going to Philly. Oh, where are we getting cheesesteaks?
How'd you go?
I don't know. Are you
lost 8-1. How'd you think the game went? My smoked meat guy. Come on.
Are you Philly cheesesteak, or is it the same thing when you go to Philly?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's that other shit that Frank was eating? I'm going to try that too.
Oh yeah, that weird kind of
ham spam bullshit.
Hammy bacony thing.
Yeah. Scrapple.
Smoked meat's phenomenal.
Scrabble.
It was so good I would eat it before every game.
Oh man,
it's really bad for you to eat before a game.
Schwartz's or Dunn's?
Both. I'm going to go to both, and I'm going to do a comparison, and I will maybe my new Instagram account.
Yes.
Right.
Sandwich content.
Not that I need to give you advice, but the Barbie Barn in Montreal is tremendous.
Been to the Barbie Barn.
God, so good. When the draft was there, we went to the Barbie barn, and I'm thinking, oh, this is some out of the way place, some little. It's like a house turned into a restaurant feel kind of a thing. You go in there, it's like, oh, all of the Philadelphia Flyers are here, and all of the St. Louis Blues are here, and all the Tampa Bay Lightning are here. Apparently, this is a thing. So yes, the Barbie barn is tremendous.
And Wanda's.
Yeah. And for you, Pinder?
We've got a weekend of stampeding, and then on a flight with the family to Toronto on Monday. See some family, catch a couple Jays games, and we'll be back the following weekend in time to get kids in camp.
Because
in 10 days.
Pissing you off.
We're like 3 days into this no school thing, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's a lot. So then it's just
been,
you and Mama
geared
at
up for
home.
Jays. This will be excited.
Once the kids are in camp, just you chasing her around the house.
We got Monday to Friday, and she's very busy. She made it clear I'm going to work a lot that week.
I bet. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's Pepe Le Pew with the perfume, and the cats just get me the hell out of here.
Yeah. Do you think what's harder on her, having you home with a week off, or the kids home with a week off?
Kids by mom, because here's the thing: I'm never in my house. Like if I have a week off, I am not hanging around my abode. I'm out and about. Go visit pals. Go have a pint here or there. Go bike. Whatever.
You should write a book.
Swim in the river.
Ryan Pinder's key to a successful marriage. Less me. The end.
Everyone needs a certain amount of what's enough and what's too much. And if you know where those lines are, you're in good shape, Dean.
There you go.
He's a communicator.
Sometimes.
He's got a schedule. He's got shit organized.
Trying.
Betway Bets.
Let's do it.
And we'll call it a day here. Betway Bets. Get the Betway app on your phone. Bet the responsible way with our buddies at Betway.
Dino, the Stamps are coming off a bye and heading into a tough spot. That is Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's not the Mosquitoes. It's the Blue Bombers. They're quite good. Stamps really dinged up. You see they brought back Mark and Michelle? Where was he hiding? What are you doing there? A lot of skill guys missing. We'll see what they look like coming out of the bye against one of the favorites in the West. I'm going to take the Stamps under 17.5 points. Winnipeg D, I think they held the Owls to 3 points last week. Ooh, tidy. And then I will also take Winnipeg to win the first half and also win the game. So it's a win those two halves minus 160. Not a ton of value there. I just don't know that Stamps don't look good, Dino. And Winnipeg is good. Like they're the one constant.
Didn't they finally lose at home, Winnipeg? They'll be pissed off. They're going to right the ship.
This don't want to be a downer here for Danny Austin and the live from
kind of hard,
guys, but I'm slanting Blue Bombers here tomorrow night.
Hey, listen, your priority is to Betway and to our people. I don't want you sending barn burner listeners and people that listen onto their Betway app and go to keep Danny Austin happy. You know,
that's right. Stamps over 60 points. Let's go. No, we can't do that. It's not a good
bread
bet.
Buttered, right? Betway. Get the Betway app and Ontario 19 or over. Bet the responsible way. Enjoy yourself with Betway. I think we did all there is to be doing.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I was not expecting.
Dean misses a day, and now he's going to punch out 2 hours for us. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, that's what
I was sitting in bed, dabbing my head, and having these thoughts.
Now, in fairness, it was one thought: don't pay Elias Lindholm $9 million. We went on for 40 minutes. Yeah, it's too much. Too much. Too many, Trevor. Too many.
Well, can you imagine how many hours the management have talked about? Okay, let's consider this option. Well, what if this happens? Okay, well, there's 2 hours on that. Well, what about this? 2 hours. Holy. They'd be spending a lot of time.
It's the never-ending story.
That is the job. It's what the hell are we? How do we get better? What do we do to win?
Last birthday party. We rented a VCR and the never-ending story.
We'll see you next week. Kind of.
Big deal.
See you Saturday at Tower for the pancake breakfast.
Shut this shit up.
10 till 2. See you at Tower.
Done.